What's up, guys? Welcome out to another beautiful morning. I have a little unboxing to do. We got our first YouTube plaque, YouTube play button. So let's see what it looks like here. We crossed 100,000 subscribers. Ooh, check that out. Rocky Mountain Farmer for passing 100,000 subscribers. So this is all thanks to you guys. Without you guys, this would not have happened. So I really appreciate you guys all watching and commenting and doing everything you can to just enjoy the channel. That's what we're here for. We're trying to make content so you can enjoy it. Also, we always try to explain everything. So a lot of you who don't farm, or maybe you're from the city or something, we're always trying to teach you and make sure that you guys kind of know where your food comes from. We grow potatoes, grain, and hay. I'm glad you enjoyed the videos. Now let's get on with the day. Okay, well, for me, I'm waiting for my tractor to get fixed. We have John Deere here. My wheel angle sensor that makes the auto steer work quit working. It got a little crispy. It got fried by the motor. So they're here fixing that, and then I'll get out in the tractor and start rolling some more spud vines. It is a busy morning out here today, though. We have Ron's tires out here. They're changing this giant tire on the harvester, not the crossover. This tire, that one. Yeah, it's one of these giant bag tires. That's the big tire they have to change. It's one of the giant ones on the back of this thing. So they're out here changing this. We also have semis taking potatoes out. Josh is over here. He's unbolting the beds. We have to swap all the beds. So that's what everybody else will be doing today. So we're in full swing trying to get all of our potato stuff ready. We got to get all the trucks swapped because these are, we haul manure with them. We used to haul hay with them when we did silage, but we may or may not do that anymore. But we haul manure with them, we haul wheat with them, we haul potatoes with them. So we got to get these swapped back to potato beds from manure beds. They're probably halfway done with the cellar. I'll take you down in the cellar in a minute. But yeah, we're very busy doing all this. Now I know Christopher, he filmed some of servicing this, so I'll show that a little bit later. But let's go down in the cellar and see how much is left. This is the last cellar, and it looks like they're probably about halfway done. So let's go check it out. There's Grandpa. He was out here checking the potatoes. Oh, also, Trevor is hauling a couple loads of hay down that we sold. That's what Trevor's doing. So let's go check this out. I know this cellar did have a little bit of water get in here. The vents were full of some water, but I think we're already past some of that. Well, here's the pile. There's not a semi here, so they are not currently loading any or scooping any, but there should be a semi here pretty soon. But they look really good. Other than the fact, so all these little tiny ones, those aren't potatoes that were harvested. Those are potatoes that have grown off of these potatoes. So these potatoes have sprouted and grown little tiny potatoes. Let me see if I can find one here for you. Like this guy. Like that. It's kind of shrivelly and sprouted. Or like this one. It has potatoes growing off of it. So, and I mean, that's okay, because all these are going to process anyway. So if they were fresh, these would not be great fresh potatoes. Granted, these are russet rangers, and russet rangers are not a fresh potato. They don't like them for fresh. But for every one that you have that's a little bit wrinkly, you have really nice ones like this that look great. So, good looking pile. They're probably about halfway done with this cellar. Maybe not quite. Maybe about a little over a third. But we have probably at least another week before they get these out, and they're cutting it really close because we start harvest in about 2 weeks. So they're cutting it a little close to get all these out of here. But it does look like they'll be able to get this empty before harvest starts, which is nice. So we're gonna go see if my tractor's done and go out and start rolling some potatoes. just like that, a semi showed up just as I walked out of the cellar. So this tractor is pretty old. I mean, it's old for a tractor. It's probably like 20 years old. I think it's a 2005 or 2003 maybe. So a little over 20 years old, but it still runs good, but all the wiring is like, the electronics are about fried. Because it's just, I mean, it's got 8,000, 9,000 hours on it. And we're just starting to have a lot of electrical problems with it. It throws tons of codes. And so he's trying to get it to calibrate before it throws another code. So hopefully we can get the wheel angle sensor calibrated and we can get out in the field here pretty soon. My dad's right there. He's walking out to get the chisel plow hooked up. He's gonna go start chisel plowing the wheat. So they haul the manure on the stubble and then we disc it to get the manure worked in. But then we have to chisel plow it really deep. So when we come through in the spring with the planters, it's got to be soft for the planters. I know there's a lot of people that say, oh, why don't you guys do no-till? You can't do no-till with potatoes. Potatoes, you have to work the ground 12 to 14 inches deep, just because potatoes, the seed, is actually placed 6 inches deep, but the points go deeper than that. So if you want the seed at 6 inches deep, you have to be deeper. So yeah, it has to be worked deep. So we have to work up in the fall, we have to work up all the potato ground that we can. And then in the spring, so right now we'll work it up at an angle. In the spring we'll work it straight, and then the planters will plant straight. So we actually have to work it up twice with the chisel plow, once in the fall, once in the spring. And that's just what you have to do with potatoes. Okay, I'm finally out in the field. I just gotta finish up this field. So I've done this entire field except for where this pivot is sitting. So I just have to move the pivot out of the way. We can get this field done. And then we will have, once this field's done, we will have 500 acres done rolling vines. So just gotta get this thing moved. Let's see, forward and park at 100. There's my park line. We're gonna go to 100% on the speed. Start. Okay, this pivot's moving. I'm going to continue to this end, jump over. By the time I get over here, this pivot will probably be out of the way enough that I can get this field done. I'm a little behind today because he was fixing the tractor all morning, and it's running great now. So hopefully we don't have any more problems the rest of the year with our old code throwing machine. This thing likes to throw lots of codes. So far today, no codes. So it's moving. Let's get going. All right, well, I wasn't able to do much on the other side of that pivot because our pipe movers had already set up all the pipe that were sitting over there. So there's just gonna be maybe 200 feet on the other side of the pivot that doesn't get rolled. Rolling really just seals up the cracks, so there might be a few potatoes that get green ends over there, but the rows are pretty short, so it shouldn't be that big a deal. But I'm on my way to the next field, so I'll see you there. All right, we are out in the next field, rocking and rolling, trying to keep this thing straight. I have to keep perfectly straight in these rows, otherwise back here, which you can't see because it's too dusty, you might be able to see, my tire track starts to shave off the side of the row and could potentially reveal some potatoes that would then make them green. We don't want that. So I'm trying to keep her nice and straight. Yesterday the GPS, the tires were just going like this because we have a wheel sensor down here. That's what he was fixing this morning, and got it fixed, and now it's working just fine, which is great. So hopefully we can get this done and not mess up the field. So you might notice that all the vines, everything that's green out here that you can see is actually a weed. All the vines are dead. So they weren't dead. When we started rolling vines, we started rolling them before we killed them. We were planning on rolling them, then killing them. But what happened is that we started rolling them. I got 1 and almost 2 fields done, and then it rained so hard. So we got like, I think it was about 2.5 inches of rain over the course of about 3 hours, which is crazy because we don't usually get very much rain, let alone 2.5 inches of rain in that short amount of time. So it basically made it, I was actually out in the field doing this, and it made it so muddy so quickly. I went from, it started raining at one end of the field. By the time I got to the other end, it was too muddy. I was just peeling the potatoes out of the ground. Josh was out disking at the time, and Christopher was in the shop. So I didn't have a camera with me. I didn't film any of it, but they did. So here's some footage of that massive rainstorm. So enjoy.
Well, Josh out here disking today. It is definitely raining. We're making the windows all dirty. Big drops too. We had about a 1/2 inch of rain yesterday. Calmed down the dust at least. Oh, there's my fuel gauge. Maintenance says it's low. It's not low. It just doesn't work anymore. You can tell when it's raining when it's bouncing off the pavement like that. Well, it went from too dry to too wet pretty fast. Disc is starting to plug up a little bit just from it raining so much in the last 15 minutes. Starting to flip mud off there in the back. We got some puddles around. We got a few puddles in the field. We haven't had rain in 7 months. I guess it's our turn. Few lightning shots out and around. It's a good little thunderstorm. Well, in the last 5 minutes, my field has turned into a giant mud hole. That was so dry when I started. I don't know if you can see it. We got puddles everywhere. In the last 15 minutes, I bet it's put down an inch of rain. You can see there's at least an inch of rain on the ground right now. And back there where the roller packer is, it keeps plugging up with mud. I'm just trying to get this field done so they can turn the water back on. But maybe we won't have to turn the water on now. A few lightning strikes around. It's definitely wet now. Probably be Monday before I can get back to it.
Well, we're not getting a whole lot done today. Mother Nature decided to turn. I'm glad we got the grain out and we don't have any hay on the ground. But we can't even get our truck fixed. We can't, I mean, I'm here on the 4-wheeler, so I'm not gonna leave until it stops raining, but it's coming down pretty good.
Because of that rain, we weren't able to get in the field for about, well, we weren't able to get in the field with this for the whole rest of the week and the weekend. So it basically knocked off about 3 days. But the sprayer was supposed to come Friday. Well, it rained Wednesday. So he didn't come Thursday. He didn't come Friday. So he came Saturday. But we hadn't had all the fields rolled. So we talked to our agronomist and everything. And he said that the potatoes were down enough that the spray would kill them all. So the reason we wanted to roll them before was to lay the vine down and reveal the stem. And because the spray, you want to get it on the stem of the potatoes, just how this spray works. So because they were all laid down enough because of the rain and because of they just dying early anyway, he just went and he sprayed all of them. He sprayed all the Norcotas. We haven't sprayed the Burbanks yet. We're trying to keep those alive, get them to bulk up a little bit more because they're actually still pretty green. We'll dig those last. But he sprayed all the Norcotas. So now these have all been sprayed, but I still have to roll them because now there's giant cracks in the ground. And if I don't roll them and seal those cracks up, the sun will get to them and cause them to turn green, or at least some of them to turn green. So we don't want that, which is why we're still rolling. But yeah, that rainstorm kind of threw a wrench into the works. We were not planning on that. So I'm gonna keep on keeping on. We're gonna roll this stuff, and hopefully, I think I'm about half done with all of the acres that we planted. So hopefully only about 5 more days of this and I will be done. Let me send you guys over to check in with everybody else and see what they're up to today.
Well, let's just say I'm a little bit full. I don't know if you can tell, but it is dribbling over the front. That's what about 520 bushel looks like on the Fendt. This is a little lower protein grain, and the mill is about out of storage. And so where they're sending us, yesterday we had a 4-hour wait because hydraulic hose broke on the auger. And so our first truck that went down today, they said something broke again. And I'm hoping not to have a 4-hour wait because next week is calling for a little bit of rain. So I called up STI, the trucking company here in Shelley, and I said, hey, any chance you might have another couple more trucks or anything so we don't have to wait as long. But you can see that grain cart is full, and they just pulled in with another empty truck. But with that grain cart being full and with the combine here being full, that will fill a semi. So we'll be able to fill this one. They said once they get done hauling some potatoes around, I know they're hauling about 12 or 15 loads of our potatoes right now per day. But once they get done with that, they can bring a few more of their trucks out here so we can be able to get done with grain today and tomorrow so that we can miss any rain that there might be. Anyway, so yeah, thank you, and a big shout out to STI here in Shelley, Idaho, for being able to supply us with trucks. They're the ones that they supplied us with enough trucks when we did the comparison with the John Deere X9. And so yeah, big shout out to them for keeping us going. You know, if they're hauling 12, 15 loads of potatoes in, we're probably also hauling about that much, if not more, of wheat. And so they have a big crew and a lot of trucks and keep us going. But yeah, that is what that's what a little over 500 bushel looks like on top of my Fendt. So it is leaking just a little bit. I just wanted to finish this row. I was gonna go walk down the field to the pickup and wait until they get done or until they get back. But they just pulled in with an empty one from their shop, so we'll get back in. One thing I did want to point out and mention, the grain that does fall on top of this cab, the Fendt cab, if you can look and see the top of the cab, it all funnels right there in the middle. Ooh, right there. And if I slow down real fast, it all comes off the front right in the middle and lands right down here on top of it'll land right there. And maybe some of it will get sucked back up, I don't know, but it all lands right on the draper belt on the header. So what's drizzling off the side, not so much, but if it lands on top of the cab, if we drizzle over just a little eventually throughout the day, it works itself back off.
Well, got one more round of grain, then we're all done. About 1,600 acres in 14 days. Not too bad between the breakdowns we had and these wild oats slowing stuff down and breakdowns of the mill. Glad to be done with the field for this year.
All right, this is the last pass, and there's a reason I saved this pass for last. Maybe all of you can tell. You know, there's some good grain over there. Good windrows if it'll focus. 130 bushel. This is why all the farmers hate wild oats. There's a little strip here in the middle of this field. There's just horrible wild oats where we got some hand lines. And all of the grain is laying on the ground. The wild oats are laying on the ground. The combine barely wants to even pick it up. But this is my last pass, and I will be glad to be done with this. You know, it is yielding very, very poorly. So it is good to be done with grain harvest for the most part. The yields were up, proteins were down. You know, we're making it work, rolling the dice another year. Thanks for joining along with us. There's all the crappy wild oats come to an end. All right, last little 100 bushel, not a whole lot in this tank. Last little bit of grain for the 2025 wheat harvest in the books. I can't tell you how much we've done because I have no idea. I'll have to call down to the mill and see how everything's come and what everything looks like. But the long days of sitting in the combine are over for this year. Thanks for joining all along, and be sure to like and subscribe. All right, what's up there? This is Chris here. Hey, just to give you a little update of what we're getting ready to do. I'm only driving about 15-20 miles an hour right now, but I'm pulling, I want to call him Sasquatch or the Beast or something. Pulling our even flow bin. We just got done pulling the piler and the dirt eliminator table down to our first cellars there in Basalt. And so yeah, we're getting ready to start potatoes here in a couple of weeks. We just killed them. Taryn's out rolling them. We're just getting this set up. We hooked up the harvester today. We need to go over all the chains and rollers and sprockets and roller chain, and you know, anybody who knows what I'm talking about, who has anything to do with potatoes, knows how many wear parts there are. Luckily, all the chains are off that carry the potatoes. And so we just got to go through, change all the rollers, you know, the wear plates on the points up in the front, change those out. Anyway, we'll send you some video here pretty soon of us getting some of that ready to go. But right now we're just hauling Sid. No. Sid was the sorter table that was really slow. This is the even flow bin. I told Trevor it looks like a beast or a Sasquatch. And then we got off topic talking about the whole, you know, Bigfoot hunters and stuff like that. But anyway, so yeah, well, this is, I'll give you a short little video here in a second where we're starting to haul. So it's kind of some of the things we're getting ready to do to get potatoes harvested here pretty quick. All right, so Galileo, I think you need to send us a few more tires and wheels. This is one of several pivots. In potatoes, when you have it shut off, you know, it makes a pretty good deep gooey rut. We're trying to roll it right now, and needless to say, it's a little stuck. So Terrence down there, he's walking over to the pivot center. He's going to turn it on, and we will try and make this go. So we dig out the mud that sits right in front of it, then we clean off the cleats. And as long as it's not hanging up on the gearboxes on the backside, usually it'll work its way out. But we will see here in a minute. All right, so Taryn just turned it on. We'll see if it can get moving through this mud. As Trevor kind of tries to clean off a little bit. There, it's hitting the stuck section. Not wanting to move. But it is slowly. That tire in the back, how all the lugs are cleaned off, they'll slowly start to dig. You can see it's It's moving, starting to push mud. Where the gearboxes weren't hung up, it was just spinning, and this gooey mud almost like suction cups it down in. So you just got to clean out a little bit, and then usually gets to go. But so Trevor had these back here, lugs cleaned off, and then look what it does to them. Then it won't clean out anymore. It was digging. But I will put the phone down just so I can help Trevor clean off some of these lugs so it'll keep going. Well, it worked for a minute. We went about 20-30 feet. And then it just gets to the gooey bottom again. Mud's up, and just see, like you can see, it just sits here and spins. There's Taryn pulled up in the tractor. We're gonna hook a chain up to it and try and pull it.
You gotta get the
Last time
over here to hook it up and pull it.
Last time when it got stuck on me, it was over there by that tank. Okay, so we're just gonna put a little bit of pressure on the pivot with the side-by-side, which is actually only 2-wheel drive right now, because I believe we broke the front diff, but we haven't had time to test that out yet. But you can see side by side, it's not like stuck, it's just spinning. The side by side is actually just pulling it in the mud. So yeah, we're getting there, so long as he doesn't go faster than the rest of the pivot.
Hey, Trevor, just give it a little pressure. You don't gotta spin them.
So, if anyone has any good ideas or good things, I know we've seen a few things that you can clamp on to a pivot track or pivot tire that, oh, he probably shouldn't go in that because now he's gonna get stuck. Anyway, we've seen a few different things you can put on a pivot tire that would get it, unstuck, but now we gotta get the side-by-side out. Yeah, this one doesn't have 4-wheel drive, so you know.
Okay, hold on. Hold on.
We're gonna unhook the chain. So the 4-wheel drive, I take it, is not working, huh, Trevor?
Okay, back up a little bit. Okay. Now go forward.
Now, give her the onion
Fast as you can.
in the forward direction. Now it won't go forward.
It won't shift into.
There.
There you go.
Now we got it. I would keep going until you're out. You're not out yet. Well, he should have just left the hammer down, huh?
Yeah. Stop.
Now he's really stuck. Luckily, it's not going to run him over very quickly. But we might have to bring the tractor around and try and pull him out with that. All right, Taryn had the tractor over here. We used the winch on the Can-Am to just winch it out. And now, just putting a little bit of pressure on this pivot, and it's coming right through the mud. Slow and steady wins the race, huh?
I'll take the tractor back around.
All right, in case you wanted to wonder a little bit what else I'm doing today, besides just moving equipment, helping get Taryn unstuck, I am here on this big adult jungle gym, changing a whole bunch of rollers. Those are just the rollers for the secondary and the diviner, and you can see one right there that's crooked. I can show you some right here. Most of these yellow ones up here I just changed, and so yeah, there is just a few rollers just going up here. I've already changed a little bit. If you look up above me here, there's the boom chain. I've changed some of those. Out on the side elevator, you can see out there, I've changed a bunch of those. Anyway, that's kind of what we're doing right now, is changing out rollers, drive sprockets. So those guys right there. There's also drive sprockets up the drive the secondary. We're changing the coulter right there, those front coulters. We're putting the new ones on those. We've got this other side apart right here, but I also need to get new bearings. So we're just crawling around on all of this here so that we can try to change out some of the rollers, the bearings, drive sprockets, roller chains, anything and everything that's going to give us a headache and stop us and delay us during harvest. We try to do that so we can for preventative maintenance. Anyway, keep following, and hopefully like and subscribe and like this video.
Good morning, guys. It's a little after 7 this nice crisp morning. I'm out here just getting ready to turn some water on, and just wanted to show you the sun. We got such thick smoke this morning. You can see what it's doing to my voice. I'm a little cracky this morning, but that's the sun this morning. You can look at it with just sunglasses on. It's nice and bright and red. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm up to this morning, just doing this. I'm gonna move this loader so that hopefully doesn't hit it, but we'll see what happens. Good afternoon, guys. I'm out here, and as you can see, still baling straw. We're trying it today. A little over a week and a half ago, we got anywhere from 1.5 inches to 2.5 inches of rain, which for us here, that's unheard of. That's over half of our summer rainfall in one storm. We just don't get storms like that around here. So I'm out here trying to see if we can bale the straw. It's still got a little wet in it, so I've got a bale, and then we'll probe some bales, and that's kind of what I'm up to today. I think Taryn's out in the roller, and Josh and Christopher are working on equipment for spuds and moving our cellar equipment to the cellars. Well, guys, you might notice I'm not baling. I tried to bale, and there's just enough moisture on the bottom of the windrows that we just can't bale. So we got the fluffer out here. If you look at the windrow, you can kind of see how kind of low and flat they are. Those two windrows, you can kind of see that one right there closest to me. I have them fluffed, and then you can see how tall that one is next to it that I have. So we're gonna try this, and hopefully tomorrow afternoon, after doing this, letting it sit, and we got a little breeze today, hopefully we can continue on baling. We only got about 300 acres left, but once again, Mother Nature's threatening to rain on us Sunday, so it could be a long weekend. So Christopher was baling when that storm hit and had to stop. And to show you how much and quickly it dropped rain, that's the straw bale that came out. And all that black is where it got hot.
I know we're trying to do as many, daily updates of what we do every day, because there's a lot we do every day that we might not show you, because like we've talked about before, we kind of get in that rhythm. Well, it's right now it's like almost 7:30 at night, and I am still working on the harvester. Had to clean off the combine. If you watch our previous videos, that loaner combine, well, they're going to come and get it here in the next couple days. So anyway, I thought I'd just show you what I'm still working on late at night, because I went to the fair today, so I got to make up a little bit of time. So what we're going to do right now is turn some hydraulics on this harvester. So right here we can, let's see, these are the rear wheels up and down. I'll see if I can get you a good view. So I can push down on them, and you can see the little blue bar go down. If you look back there, it's really hard to see it, but if you look at the wheels, it's slowly going down. So the whole machine in the back is going down. We were underneath it working on a lot of things. We lifted it up to change that tire. Now I'm going to lower it down so I can get to some sprockets a little bit easier on the back. But here, as soon as that gets all the way down, I'm also going to fold the boom out. And so to fold the boom out, I grab my joystick here, and I believe I just push forward. So if I push forward, you can see it's sucking those two hydraulic rams in. That boom is going up in the air. And so, you know, if there was a chain on there, you kind of see it gets to the cam over point, starts pulling it in and down. And I'm just going to try and put it all the way down so that it is easy to access. Then I push that little button on the end of that puts the tip down. Now it'll be easy to access all my rollers on that, so we can get working on some of that too. I know we need to do a little bit of welding repairs up there on the top. You can see the braces we put in. Just want to check everything we can. You see we've got the new coulters put on right there, the black ones. We've got the new plastic put on the nose piece, and I think I've changed close to 50 rollers. And I mean, I just got done changing 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 sprockets. I got the sprockets on the secondary to change, whole bunch of roller to change, some speed change to change. So we will be at this harvester until we dig, probably from about sun up to sundown, until we get all this done and go through all the chains and everything on the harvester. So that's a little bit of what I've been doing today, aside from going to the fair. I know Trevor was fluffing some hay. Like I said, I had to clean the combine. Josh was working on moving some of the potato equipment down to Kevin's cellars that we rent, and so that's some of the stuff we're doing today. Anyway, hopefully you enjoy a little bit of this update, and we will keep you informed. Look forward to all this famous Idaho potato digging. It's going to be pretty intense this year, especially at the cellar, because we'll have a lot going on with eliminating potatoes, pilot loading semi-trucks. And I just got word that they're going to take more semi-trucks during harvest than previously expected. So it's going to be a little chaotic. We're hoping to get all that equipment set up next week so we can make sure all the automatic works. You know, if something shuts off, it shuts off the whole system for safety. Anyway, stay tuned. There's some good content coming. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share the video to your friends, and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any of this content that we are currently creating. So thanks for sticking with us.
All right, guys. Well, I've been working at this most of the day, and I've gone so I started over there. I've gone all the way across this field. So this field only really has one exit over here on the corner. So I didn't want to have to drive this thing across the end of the rows all the way across. So what I did is I just skipped a row all the way across. So I went every other row. So I went all the way across, and now I switched over, and now I'm headed on the odd rows that I skipped all the way back to that side to get out on that edge. Using the big brain, see if I can get out of here without damaging anything, because this is homemade. And I spotted a couple of cracks this morning, and what cracks it is, it just, if you hit bumps and the frame starts bouncing, then that will slowly cause cracks. I spotted a few cracks this morning, but I couldn't tell if they were old cracks or new cracks, so I'm just keeping an eye on them, and I'll probably check it tomorrow morning and see if they've gotten any bigger. I might just weld them up anyway. But yeah, it's got a few cracks. I did have to weld it a bunch. I had to weld it a bunch initially. There was a bunch of cracks. But I'm just hoping this roller makes it through the whole 1,000 acres, because it's definitely a homemade job. It's pretty heavy duty. It's pretty sturdy, but It's old and it is rickety. But yeah, we're gonna keep going, see if we can get this done by the end of the day. Well, it doesn't look like I'm gonna get it done today. I'm close. I'm right here. I've come all the way back across. I probably only have maybe an hour and a half left of this, but I'm not gonna get it done. Now we are ramping up for potato harvest. It's gonna be coming in about 20 days, maybe a little less, we'll see. We plan on starting around the 19th of September. That rain may have pushed it back a couple days, who knows, because you wouldn't think that, but the potatoes have to be dead in the ground for 21 days before we can harvest them. So if they're not 21 days dead, we're not gonna dig them. So we are getting everything ready. We should have everything ready in time. Shouldn't be a big deal, but I'm trying to get caught up on videos. I've been behind editing. So this video, it's actually the 4th of September. So the day that you're seeing this video, if it is not however long after the 4th of September it is, that's how far behind I am on videos. But I'm trying to get caught up. I haven't been filming as much because we've all just been kind of doing about the same things every day. But I'm trying to get caught up because I want to try and put out as many potato harvest videos as I can, because I know that's what everybody wants to see. There's not a whole lot of potato farms on YouTube, not a whole lot of potato content. There's me and Bell Farms are the only ones really that put out current potato content from different farms. If you guys haven't checked them out, go check out Bell Farms. They're a lot smaller farm than we are, but they do a lot different process with their potatoes. They kind of package them and clean them themselves. It's kind of cool. Go check them out. Yeah, I'm gonna go back to the shop and I'm gonna go home. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to be kind to everybody in your daily lives. My name is Big T. I love you. I'll see you in the next one.